The impact of racism is different on different people based on their sensitivity toward the issue. But the fact that someone could go to this extent is how brutal society can get in modern times. It is astonishing how these days, people tend to have a very narrow mindset about people based on their race or the way they look. Generally speaking, the hate is not restricted to just the skin color of the person, but quite often the place he calls home. That is, his nationality or the life preferences they have. For example, the food they eat. This selective discrimination causes grievous hurt in many cases to the families or individuals having to go through all of this. This is where we look into the story of Benton Louis Bayer, who was accused and found guilty of stalking and harassing the Robinson family. Not only that, but he was also charged with attempting to cause extensive hurt to the family by crashing a stolen truck into their home. The violence he caused the day left a spine-chilling fear within the family, all because a few members were black. The family as such was multiracial, which became one of the reasons why he did not want the family to be present in the neighborhood. The incident occurred in Minnesota, and the mother of the house, Andrea Robinson, burst into tears as the hearing took place. She was glad the court understood the pain she was going through and sentenced the accused for the crimes he had committed. She alleged that a racist ambush was responsible for destroying her family. She says nothing could be worse than the impact of the actions the accused had taken against her and her family. Though Bayer did speak as an advocate of the principles of natural justice, Andrea says that she really hopes that the sentence he received gives him enough time to reflect upon what he did and the impact it may have had on the family. Her husband is now scared of living in the neighborhood as he is worried about the safety of his wife and kids. He says his wife and children do not want to stay here, and now he understands why they do not. Andrea says that the actions that took place against her were simply for marrying a black man. On the bright side, however, she also said that recently, she has an entire community and a group of people who stand by them and support them through their toughest times. Hence, she wishes that whatever underlying issues Mr. Bayer had is addressed through the sentence he must deal with. The stalking and mental torture took place for 80 continuous days, ending up with Mr. Bayers in jail for 9 years. Justice once again served in the right manner. Next up, we have Kayla Norton and Jose Joe Torres. The allegations against them were that they were part of a gang of white supremacists who primarily targeted African Americans with slang and taunts. It was also alleged that the duo was also responsible for threatening them. The incident came to light when the matter was already at its peak, 1 month after a gunman slayed 9 worshippers in front of a historically black church in Charleston, South Carolina. In furtherance to the allegations being put on them, it was found that the duo was a part of a gang that called themselves Respect the Flag. It was claimed that went in full swing on an alcohol-fueled spree supporting racism in Douglas. This was also noticed in Atlanta. Based on witness statements, it is claimed that Norton assisted Torres in getting hold of a tactical 12-gauge shotgun with a pistol grip. She also assisted him by loading it before giving it to him. Post the trial, the court found that the duo would serve 19 years in jail for being part of a group promoting racism. The court was even more concerned about the rampage caused at an 8-year-old's birthday party, as it may leave a permanent image in the young minds who had to watch it all on a very special day of their lives. Well, that's not it for this video. There is more to it for today. Meet Todd Jamison, who left 3 threatening voicemails for Brown Hutcherson. The incident took place in mid-November at Jefferson Avenue. It was claimed that the voicemail threatened Brown Hutcherson to leave the Brown funeral home property. Before the voicemail, it was also found that a brief confrontation also took place between the parties. The voicemail did not stop there. Todd went on to state that he would shoot the first black person he saw on the property. The voicemails were heard by Paula Woods, secretary to the church pastor, who was shocked to have heard such remarks. She also gave her statements during the trial and shed light on the impact it has had on the church. She said that the church had an open-door policy, which changed after the issue took place that day. Therefore, these kinds of incidents have a great impact on people and are highly condoned. The law system has to take necessary actions to prevent such issues from rising again. Though Jamison regrets what he has done, the incident left a great mark on society and how we see it in modern times. He said he really wished he had not done it. His racial slurs were so bad that they could not be used in a court of law even for evidential purposes. He was therefore imprisoned for 16 months till 2 years at max in prison. Well, the story gets even worse when we speak about Michael Amatulu. Michael was accused of yelling racist epithets at two African-American brothers as he threatened to use the force of a knife on one of them. The court proceeded against the offender and sentenced him to 3 years in prison. The accused and the victims used to live in Southeast Portland in an apartment complex. It is said that the incident took place in the month of December 2018. As the younger brother was taking out the trash, Amatullo went on yelling at him in a racially offensive slur that caused a massive disturbance amongst the brothers. The younger brother retaliated, to which he was threatened by Amatullo and said that he would beat him up to the extent of killing the boys using a knife. The court found the accused guilty of 2 counts of menacing against both boys, along with second-degree intimidation and hate crime by the count of 2. Amatullo's words were unfiltered, and it is claimed that he also said things about his pregnant mother. He said that Amatullo hoped his mother does not live. As a matter of fact, Amatullo has had traumatic experiences throughout his childhood. He left his home at the age of 17 and has also been in prison or homeless for 20 years. In his defense, Amatullo stated that he misjudged the 15-year-old's age and thought he was a 20-year-old. While we see that the action shown by the guilty here came out of a bad past, this cannot be used to explain what he did. Therefore, he was rightfully prosecuted by the court of law while keeping in consideration his upbringing and past. William Osterwiesen and Theo Martins Jackson were accused of slaying and kidnapping Victor Mlotchwa. The accused stated that the victim was trespassing on their land, as a result of which they beat him up, put him in a coffin, and threatened to burn him alive. The incident took place in August 2016. The victim was deeply hurt and scared. The matter did not surface unless it was seen on YouTube months later. The victim stated that he was not trespassing and was just taking a shortcut to the shop as his mother had sent him. The case also had another significant importance. It was the first case where a woman judge of a color was prosecuting 2 white men for a crime committed against a black man. Theo Jackson was sentenced to 40 years in prison, while on the other hand, Osterwiesen was sentenced to 11 years. Among all other allegations, it was also found that the duo tried to stop the witness from testifying and hence face a separate duration for that. Now let us move on to the final one of the day, Peyton Gendron, a recent case of 2022 where the accused went all rogue with tactical gears and heavy ammunition. He live-streamed his actions using a camera on him. He was solely responsible for taking the lives of 4 people outside a grocery store, out of which 3 died on the spot. He then moved towards the inside of the store, shooting 8 people and killing 6 of them. The incident occurred in Buffalo, where he injured 13 people, including 11 black people and 2 white. All of those who lost their lives were black. Gendron had fully planned the attack and claimed that he had visited the store multiple times in the past. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of terrorism motivated by hatred and was punished for the same as well. He was sentenced to life in prison for the acts he committed. So with this, we have come to the end of the video on the most racist acts of violence we have seen in a long time. Hit the like button and subscribe for more information on similar crimes. We will meet you the next time.